My name's Edward Davis, and welcome to the New Generation Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the New Generation Podcast. We're here with Jack Cook. Jack, if you want to give a little bit of an introduction about yourself.
What's up? My name is Jack. I live in Los Angeles, and I'm a full-time filmmaker.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I like to do when we start with these episodes is to ask your favorite personal story, Jack, like from what you've been doing, from anything you've been doing.
Yeah. Are we going to say that we've already recorded some of this?
Oh, yeah. Let's just say we might not have the same energy as we did because we recorded this once last night, and Jack's internet just crashed. Just absolutely crashed. We're trying to figure out for like 30 minutes. We're probably 30 minutes into the episode, and Jack's internet just got destroyed. So if we don't seem the same, or if we seem to already know each other really well, or already heard these stories, that's why. Because we told some very great stories last night. We had a really good interaction, and then it just boom. My file corrupted on my side afterwards. Everything that went wrong could have gone wrong went wrong. So we're re-recording it again today.
Yeah, we're gonna rip some of the same stories and just
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, I was talking yesterday about how one of my favorite memories is probably like the first time I decided or I recognized that I loved filmmaking. So when I was making my first ever YouTube video, it's called Welcome to Savannah. I was filming that video with my friends for probably 10 days, 2 weeks or something like that. And sort of in the middle of the process of making the video, each day that we were making the video, I became more and more obsessed with it to the point where like it was the only thing I was doing all day long. It was during the summer. I didn't have like anything to do. It was right before school was about to start. So I was only doing that all day, every day. And there was one day where I was filming stuff the entire day, and then I was back at home at night editing stuff, and I was editing all night. I was a very inefficient editor, so it took me forever to get anything done, but I was editing all night, and then literally at 5 a.m. I was like, oh wow, it's really late. I probably should go to bed. And then I was like, well, the sun's going to come up in probably like 45 minutes. It's going to be first light, so I might as well just go film the sunrise. So then I went and I sat on the dock and flew the drone and was like filming the sunrise. And then I landed the drone and I kind of like had a second to relax and just like think about what we had been doing for like a week. And I was like, I love this more than I've ever loved anything before. And I think I want to do this forever. And it was a really cool, like all in one moment where I just right then and there decided that I wanted to do filmmaking forever, and that's all I've been doing since then. So
yeah, exactly. It's like the moment something you just understood, like this is what I want to do with my life. This is like what I'm passionate about, and it's a great feeling. Like I've had that happen to me before with certain things that I do. It's if you haven't experienced that yet, try and go find a thing that you can experience that with, because it's one of the best experiences you can have to know that like that's something that you want to continue.
It was like something in my brain just unlocked. And I was like, oh, now I know the thing.
All right. So one thing we talked about yesterday was Coachella. So you went to Coachella a couple weeks ago, and you were able to bring in a camera, but you did not have a media pass. Can you explain that a little further? Because I think that's a great story.
Yes. So basically, there is a rule about what cameras you can and can't bring in. And I think yesterday when we were talking about it, we netted it down to like whether or not a camera has a detachable lens. But then I think it's kind of a gray area because, you know, camcorders don't have a detachable lens, but they can zoom in really far, and people can bring in an iPhone. So there's kind of like a gray area on like what cameras you can and can't bring in.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm going to bring in a really low profile camera, and if security lets it slide and they let me through each day, so be it. And that'll just be how it is. Luckily, because I think security was more curious about like you not bringing in a bomb or drugs or anything that was actually dangerous to other people. They weren't really concerned with like people bringing in cameras, and they ended up just letting it slide. And so I got to bring it in, got to shoot like some of the sets. And so I don't know, it was a little bit of a gamble to try and bring it in, but I knew that the upside to bringing it in was worth
greater than the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said last night that Harry was your favorite set. Why was Harry Styles your favorite set? Because I have friends who went to his concert. around here, and they said he was like the best thing they've ever seen.
Yes, he's just a really good performer, and on top of that, his music is very fun. Like it makes you want to dance. Like all the music he played was fun. I mentioned it in one of the videos I made after Coachella. Like if you even if you weren't a Harry Styles fan or have never heard a Harry Styles song before and you went to his concert, you would have fun because you would want to dance. Like the energy was just really fun there. And we were also very close. Like we could see him pretty well. And he was on stage dancing, having a good time. Everyone in the crowd was having a good time. So he was probably the best performance.
Yeah, I mean, I like when my friends came back from that concert, they were like raving about it, and they're very big Harry Styles fans.
Yeah.
Like she loves Harry Styles. If she's listening to this, she knows who she is. But she came back and she was just like the entire day. I sit next to her in one of my classes. The entire day, she's just like writing down like things about the concert that she loved. She's like keeps talking to me about it, and I was like, I get it. Like I wanted to go see it at that point. Like she was like, and I'm not the biggest Harry Styles fan. Like I don't listen to his music too much, but like she made me very impressed and like enthusiastic about an artist that I've never like I don't listen to.
Yeah, it'll definitely give you a different perspective on an artist, like see them perform live like that.
I'm really mad. Like since Kendrick Lamar's album dropped last night, I was really excited because he comes on tour and he goes to a city right next to me. I'm not in town when he's right next to me. Oh. And that was going to be the greatest concert ever.
Yeah.
I wanted to go so bad. I listened to the album last night. I stayed up till midnight. I had school. It was Thursday night. I had school the next day. I stayed up till midnight to listen to the album on release and then listened to it twice. Went to bed at like 2 yesterday. So
what did you think of the album?
I love the album. There's people online saying that it was terrible. I love the album. Okay. It was like my favorite.
I have not fully listened to it yet, so I'm gonna have to.
It's really good.
Yeah,
I thought it was amazing. So speaking of rap, it's kind of that idea. So you had this amazing Kevin Abstract shot at Coachella that you took. Like I see it. I saw it on your Instagram. It's on your TikTok. It's awesome. Can you give some backstory to that? Because that's just a crazy shot.
Yeah. So the Brockhampton set. I've seen Brockhampton in concert a couple times, and they always put on a good show. And this was actually their last performance. Coachella weekend 1 and 2 were their last 2 shows. So because of all that, I knew that they were a good performance last show. I definitely wanted to be close for that one. I knew I would get some good footage there. And during the concert, there was just like a moment where I was filming, and then Kevin was kind of like coming towards our area of like the crowd. And so, you know, when they come over, the stage is really big. So sometimes the artist is further away and it's harder to get like a good close-up shot of them, but he was coming my way. So I was starting to roll and like try and get good close-ups of all the artists. And then he just happened to like come right to our section. And like in part of the song, he kind of like motioned over to the crowd, and it ended up just being like a really one of those moments that I can't plan for, but I was there at the right time, right place, right time, and just got the shot and was like, okay, that's what I needed.
That's like a perfect shot. That's like the ideal situation. Like you're just ready to shoot and like you start shooting, and then something just like amazing happens. You couldn't have planned for it, but like it worked out perfectly.
And that's how it is in sports and live events. Like you can't plan for any of those things. You have to sort of learn how to be in the right spots at the right time to like set yourself up to get a shot if something were to happen.
Yeah. You talked about sports videography for a second there. So you did video at Auburn, the sports at Auburn for a couple of years when you were there. Roll Tide. But can you give us a little more about that? What was your favorite moment that you shot there?
Yeah. I think as far as shooting, probably the most like fun event to shoot was the first year that I was filming for the football team. It was my sophomore year, and we played Georgia at home when they were number 1, and we beat them. And then 2 weeks later, we played Alabama at home, and they were number 1, and we beat them. So it was like our big 2 games at the end of the season, back to back. We were ranked somewhere in the top 10. So, you know, they were really big games, and it was my first season shooting football, and just the energy of the crowd and having everyone like going crazy. And then the Alabama game, we won, and everybody rushed the field. Like, sorry, but those two games, like back to back like that, two number one teams coming to play us at home, beating both teams like one weekend after the other was probably the most fun.
Yeah, I don't think that field goal at the end of the second half should have happened.
Oh, you know that game.
I know that game. I watched. I was watching live with all like my family at like we were like watching. Everybody was. We're a lot of Alabama
exactly
fans.
What happened there, but it was like very controversial, right? It was like
it was like well, there wasn't any time left, and then they put 1 second back on the clock, and then they kicked a field goal at the end of the second quarter, and like y'all ended up winning by like 3 or 4. But I don't think I don't think that would have happened without the field goal. So I'm on the side that it wasn't. It was not. There was not time on the clock. Y'all shouldn't have been able to kick the field goal, but we'll go with it.
Those were
live and learn
games.
SEC champions this year, national champions this year. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So one thing I kind of have been seeing with people all over TikTok and people who are creatives in general is they get into creative ruts, like areas where their creativity just stops, or like they feel like they can't create. How do you overcome that yourself, and have you ever experienced it?
I think the one big thing that has helped me a lot with not getting into a rut is having something like I'm doing on TikTok with the daily vlog. I don't have to wake up every day and think of a new video idea. I just already have a template. I know I'm going to make a vlog. Most of them, somewhat look the same. Like I shoot them kind of in like I have a style for them. Yeah. So each day I'm just iterating on that. And it takes a lot of the pressure of like having to create a new idea on top of itself every day. And I think that kind of burnout is what leads to the creative ruts, because you're like, I'm all out of ideas. But if you just have an idea that you can do consistently and you're not having to wake up every day and come up with a new idea, that helps a lot with like not getting in a rut, staying out of it.
Because when you're not having to come up with new ideas, you're not getting like limited by what you can think of, or limited by what like how you're feeling. Like there's days when I come home and I'm like, I need to make content, but I have no idea what to make today. And like sometimes the way I'll do it is I'll go into I had a tech channel for a while. I would go into like tech news of the day, and I would cover a big topic from tech news, or I would find something that related to my subject that was popular that day and talk about it. And it worked well for me for a while until it kind of sounded like people like realized what I was doing and found that I was just looking at the news and like repeating the art, or not like repeating, but like putting my own twist on the articles. But they were like, this isn't creative at all. Like you're not coming up with anything new. So I had to kind of go back to my ideas of just like coming up with new things to film. And sometimes those videos aren't great.
On YouTube?
What'd you say?
Was that a channel you had on YouTube?
No, this was a TikTok.
Okay, gotcha.
I had a TikTok for it, and the problem was I grew so quickly off of one series, and then that series ended because I wasn't like it was trying to turn my setup into the best on TikTok, and I was like updating every day on what I'd done. I did like a new thing every day, or like small or large, and there was like a bunch of days in a row where my update was like wiping off my monitor or like cleaning my mouse pad, because like I don't have like an absurd amount of money to be spending on my setup. Like I can't buy like the new best thing every day to make my setup look better. So like I had to come up with something to do every day that would like that I could do for the series. It would be like, today we're dusting the inside of my PC. And like everybody would be like, this is boring. Like I don't want to watch this.
Isn't really an upgrade.
Because there would be like days where there were days where I had big upgrades, like where I would get like a new microphone, or I'd get like a new monitor or something, and like those videos would do really well. They would come back to my channel saying that I'm going to make an upgrade every day, and then they'd be like cleaning the wall behind your setup isn't an upgrade. Like dusting your room doesn't help.
Right.
Like, so I had to like discontinue that series, which kind of just let me in like an area of like 200 views on every video. I had like 8,000 followers at the time, and I was like get 200 views on every video because I had to completely change what I was doing.
Gotcha.
And I would be like, like people who came to watch for that and weren't impressed by that started unfollowing, and they also like people who came to watch for that and didn't get what they were wanting, they unfollowed for that, and I lost like almost 1,000 followers because of not having a lot of money to do upgrades to my setup. And like I was hoping the series would look more realistic than it did, and then it was. I was hoping it would look more realistic to people, and like they could like see like it's not like the influencers who have like thousands of dollars and sponsorships and getting new stuff every day. Like it was supposed to be like a relatable stance of like how I as a teen upgrade my setup every day, but then it just didn't end up working because I would just like put random stuff in there. Like there were days where I would like put trash on the ground of my setup and pick up the trash and be like, this is an upgrade, right? Like I'm cleaning my room, and they'd be like, that, like I think I got a comment that was like, this is forced, like you did this yourself.
And you're like, oh, that one's true. Like those are the ones that hurt.
Yeah, like when you get the comments, like I don't like to delete comments. One of my policies is like I don't delete comments on like any of my TikToks. Like I let people say what they want on my TikToks. Like unless it's like derogatory or hurting someone, like I'm not going to delete comments that say anything about me or say anything about my video, because like if you want to tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I did wrong. Like you can let me know. And like with my brand and stuff, and people would like comment on my designs, I would always be like, well, what can I do to make it better? So like when people comment, like I don't delete comments. So just having to stare there and look at comments that were just like, this is so stupid, this is boring. And I was like, I want to delete these, but I can't. Like it's not what I do. I don't want to delete the comments. Like I want to, but I also don't want to. I don't want to mess with what I've been doing.
Another thing about creative ruts, I would say, is not letting perfection getting in the way of progress. I think that's kind of a phrase that people use a lot, but even if you're making a video and then you make something that's not as good as what you previously were making, you have something that's just, it's not, doesn't live up to your standards. You can't not post that video or not like keep putting things out to work through that rut. The rut will just get bigger if you stop doing what you're doing. I think there's a lot of people who think that they have to, as soon as they start doing something, or if they get into a rut, they have to be operating at like a certain level. And until they're operating there, they're not going to put things out. But like that will just stop you from gaining progress.
Yeah, from any sort of progress. And like also, like kind of relating to what you said, like there's been a argument about us changing the subject. There's been an argument on TikTok recently, or everywhere kind of, about quality of YouTube videos for people who are getting started on YouTube. And I'm not a YouTuber myself, but there was something that was like, should you post, you have 100 days, should you post 2 really good videos, like 2 amazing quality videos, or 50 solid videos, or like 50 average videos if you're starting your channel? And the answer, like a lot of people were like, oh, well, I want to create the best possible, but I'm just getting started. Like you're never going to create your best when you're just getting started. Like these podcast episodes, these are going to suck in 5 years. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, like you're a great guest and all, but in 5 years, my podcast episodes, if I continue to do them, they will be better.
Right.
Like
100%.
There's no shot that these aren't going to be looked down on as easily the worst videos on my channel and the worst videos on my podcast. And that's nothing against you.
No,
it's just that I progress as a creator. And if you're going to hold yourself to only making the perfect videos when you start, and you think that everything you put out there has to be completely perfect, then you're going to get in the way. Like the YouTube algorithm favorites people who post more than people who post less. Like, I get that 2 really good videos could blow up your channel because people will think, oh, this guy's posting really great content, but then they follow you, they subscribe, and they don't get another video for 2 months. Like, I'm kind of not like, I like getting consistent content from people. And like, if I see 50 videos over 100-day span, or 2 videos over 100-day span, I would probably follow the guy with 50 videos. Even the guy with 50 videos has like less less like camera quality or better, worse edits or anything like that. Like the perfect, my mom says this all the time to me, is like when I'm trying to make plans and I'm like, if this person can't come, then I don't want to go. She always tells me, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Because like, if you let the perfect things stop all the good things, like, yes, it would be perfect if I went out with this group of friends. It would be good if I went out with that group of friends minus 2 people who can't come. Don't let the perfect situation can't, like, not being able to do the perfect situation cancel out that good situation too.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, if I say to my friends who can come, like, man, I want to cancel a night, like, those 2 can't come.
Yeah.
Like, then I just, like, I'm canceling everything that could have been fun for me because of 2 people. Like, and it can be applied to every situation. Like, like there could be a perfect situation that didn't work out, and then that means you choose not to do the good situation either. Like, always don't let something that changes stop you from doing the other thing. Like, that's kind of what I'm just trying to say. It might be hard to explain. I think I explained it okay.
No, yeah, for sure. And when you're first, like you're saying, first making videos and like social media, YouTube videos, like they don't have to be masterpieces. They're not like, you're not making a movie. So you can have rough around the edges parts of your videos and just have them progress. Like my early vlogs that I were doing on TikTok are not great. And like my voiceover is really not good. And I can notice that now that I'm 200 something days in, that I've gotten a little bit better. And hopefully by 500, the ones that I'm doing now are not nearly as good. But that like little bit of progress along the way is a lot better than trying to start at where you should be at day 500.
Yeah, you're never gonna be able to start at the end of your progress.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that you're gonna come in and your first ever time editing, you're gonna create an editing masterpiece. You're gonna edit like Casey, say you're making vlogs. Say you think your first ever vlog is going to look like Casey Neistat's vlogs, who has been doing it for years. One of the best, regarded as one of the best video makers on YouTube. Like, you're not going to reach that. But what you could reach that in 5 years of consistently doing it. But your first video may look a little worse. Like, it's not gonna look the same as something he does. And like, you could try and you could emulate and you could want to make your videos look better every time. Like, get 1% better. There's a book I have called The One Thing. And it talks about getting 1% better at something every day. And that compounds. Like, say there's a domino and it's this small domino, and every day it knocks over a bigger domino, like a domino that's like half bigger than it.
Yeah.
By the end of day 50, you'll have knocked over a massive domino. And like, if it's that effect that like everything you do compounds it. So if you make something that's 1% better, or do something that's 1% better than what you did every day, if I had a bad Monday, or a bad video on Monday, I need to make a video on Tuesday that's 1% better than it. If I make a video on Wednesday that's 1% better than my video on Tuesday, it'll be 2% better. And then it'll be keep going like that. And it just makes it to the point where you'll end up with like creating the best things that you could create by the time you're far into it. And you'll still be like, even if you think you've hit a wall, you can push past a wall and you can create something. Like, if you think that you have the best content on YouTube or the best video editing on YouTube, then break the record even further if you think so. Like, up the standards more, raise the bar.
Yeah.
And just get 1% better. And speaking of getting to goals and stuff, so do you have like a goal sheet or like a goals board anywhere? I have one right next to my setup. Do you keep something like that?
I don't have anything like physical. I have things in my head that I kind of want to hit by, the end of the year, maybe 5 years, things like that. But no, nothing like written down anywhere. I maybe should have something written down.
I know Jared McCain, basketball player. He's really popular on TikTok. I know he I think it was Jared McCain. He wrote down all his goals on his wall, like wrote them in like Sharpie on his wall. And so if he didn't accomplish them, he'd look stupid. He was like,
pushes you to go harder.
Yeah, like if it says like I want to be Gatorade Player of the Year for California, if I don't accomplish this and it's written on my wall, I'm going to look stupid. Like, everybody, like, people are gonna walk in my room and be like, dude, why does it say get Gatorade Player of the Year? And you're a 30-year-old dude sitting on your couch now.
Right.
Like, and he accomplished them. Like he's going to Duke next year. He was Gatorade Player of the Year. Like he won a state championship. Like everything on his wall he accomplished. So he doesn't really look that stupid anymore. Well, I guess not the NBA yet, but hopefully. I've got my board over there with some goals. Like everything on here is like there's no like organization of when I want to get these done by. So it's just everything. Like I've got a 5 on my AP test that I took last week and a B in my biology and math classes. And then 2 below it, I've got own a real estate property.
Nice.
So I've got like host a concert for my brand or like an event for my brand, sell out of drops, which can be accomplished like soon. Like that's not like something that's like a far away goal if I make it possible, but like buy a screen printer, that's like $2,000, $3,000. An NFT collection, learn how to film music videos, like $20,000 in income in 2022, 50,000 people on social media, collaboration with Warren Lotus, like all these things that like I want to accomplish. I should probably order them in terms of how long they're going to take to do. Like I can make a B in bio and math next week when I take my exams.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know when I'm going to get a real estate property. I'm 14 right now, so a real estate property may not be in the cards until I'm a little older. But I mean, it's always something I want to shoot for.
Figure it out at 14.
Maybe I'll have like a game. Yeah, I'll be ahead at that point.
Yeah.
But like I think it's important to keep goals because it keeps you on track of what you want to do. And like I feel like I wrote them at a point where I was confident in what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if I ever get to a point where I feel like I'm failing in what I'm doing, I can look at my goals and be like, this is what I want to accomplish. I can need to keep working towards that. Cause like there have been multiple times where I like tried to switch my goals completely because I was in a state of mind thinking that this will never work. And I know what I wrote on that board can't work. Yeah. And like, if you think to your, like, I was in a position where I had a pretty terrible mindset and I was like, these things will never work for me. Why? Like, I need to write new goals that relate to different things. And then I was like, well, these goals are like something that I've said I want to do for a while. And these were ones I thought through for a while. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but keep the same goals that you've wanted for a while, because like there's going to be times where you want to change paths completely and you got to remind yourself, like, stick on the right path, stick what you're trying to do. Like it'll all work out.
Yeah. 100%.
If you put what you can into it, like you get in what you get out.
For sure.
That's what coaches will say all the time. And it sounds kind of cheesy, like invest in here, collect out there. Like it says that in my weight room at my school. And it's like, if you put in your work right now, you'll invest out there on the field or on the mat or on the diamond or whatever you're doing on the court. Like if you put in the work in the like your profession or what you're trying to do, you will collect in the future.
For sure. Yeah, it's very true.
And it's kind of just like at some point it's psychological, because everybody will succeed at some point if you try. Like, and I know you have to get some luck involved with it, because there is luck involved in everything. But you've got to be, you'll get lucky at some point if you keep trying.
Yeah, you got to put yourself in the positions to get lucky as much as you can.
Yeah, and it's if you continue to put yourself in positions, like you said, if you continue to put yourself in positions where you can get lucky, then you will get lucky. Last thing I wanted to talk about. So I've only got 10 minutes left on this Zoom call because of the free version. Okay. Last thing I wanted to talk about was podcast editing. And you talked about how on your videos that you edited podcasts a lot, like your daily vlogs, almost every day you were editing a podcast. So can you kind of bring us through why that was and like what you were doing necessarily?
Yeah, it sort of came to be kind of randomly. I never thought that I would be editing any podcasts really. And then I think it was about the end of 2020, maybe the beginning of 2021, probably the beginning of 2021. I was editing and shooting some videos for Jason Nash for his YouTube channel. Yeah. And then he has a podcast with David Dobrik, and they were trying to switch to do video. And they had an editor, Joe Volpis, who was editing all their audio stuff. But once they switched over to video, they needed help with the video stuff because it's just a lot more work. And so having two people edit it is more helpful. So they brought me on to do their podcast. And I did a few episodes with them. And once I started doing their podcast, then I started doing Unfiltered, who is Zane and Heath. They have their podcast. And then not long after that, I started doing Hoot and Half, which is Matt and Mike. And then I was doing Lightweights as well. And then I was doing the Good Boys podcast. So it kind of like very quickly spiraled into I was just doing all of these podcasts and I was editing them because it takes a long time to edit. So having somebody who can cut through it quick, I think is pretty valuable. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started with it. It was sort of random, but then it sort of took over like everything that I was doing for a while.
That's some very cool people to meet on like your first area of editing podcasts, like Jason Nash, like the Good Boys podcast. Those are like, and Zane and Heath. That's huge podcast territory to be charting in like the first like couple months of you doing it. Like,
yeah,
you got like I don't want to say lucky because I know you worked for everything you did, but like you met some amazing people throughout doing that, it seems.
Yeah, luckily I did. Yeah, I was lucky to have met Jason. I was lucky for him to have like trusted me to shoot some YouTube videos with them, and then lucky that he even asked me to do views. So
yeah,
luckily when that happened, I stepped up to the plate and then kind of just went from there.
Yeah, so that's all the topics I had to talk about in this episode. You got anything else, Jack?
I don't think so. I think that was great. Thanks for having me.
I think that was great. Also, so if you're watching this on the day of release, my brand just dropped our new collection on newgenerationtakeover.com. If you want to go check that out, make sure you head over there. It'll be released right now. It's called the Beat a Change Collection. 50% of all the proceeds are going to children's hospitals across America. So you can go check that out if you want to.